Hey there, gamers. DreamcastGuy here. Today we're talking about the Xbox Developer Direct for 2026 because I just watched it and it was bad. It was by far the worst Xbox showcase or any sort of display of future Xbox games they've ever done. This one had 4 separate games, and honestly, the only one that I actually cared about was Fable. They ended with Fable, and Fable, even though that is a completely new studio, the old people that actually invented Fable, Lionhead, they got fired like a decade ago, Fable actually looks pretty dang good. The other stuff they showed, I truly did not care. But let's go through the 4 games, and I want to talk about why something about a lot of Xbox shows now, there's always this air of pessimism, right? I mean, they do so many layoffs. They close so many studios. At this point, they're completely third party, so yes, every game today is also coming to PlayStation, to PC. Some of them are probably coming to Nintendo Switch too. I feel like ever since the closure of stuff like Project like Everwild or Perfect Dark, even when you see a good game, it always feels like, okay, is this actually going to release? They're claiming these games are coming out in 2026. We'll see how many of them really actually come out. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So we're going to go in reverse order. This thing started off incredibly boring, personally, but we're going to start with the good game, which is Fable, and go backwards from there. So let me just start with the fact that, honestly, Fable looks very different from the old school games. Mostly because now it's completely open world. If you've played the old Fable games recently, even the remake of Fable 1, the Fable Anniversary Edition, I love those games a lot. I grew up very much loving Fable, but they're very contained. The maps, the structure, they're very rigid. They're very fun. I'm not going to pretend that they're not incredibly fun, building up combos and being the hero of Albion and stuff, but they're very tightly constructed. Having it shift to being open world feels like such a huge departure, but that was the thing that kind of scared me the most. I like the fact that the director of the game actually started with saying, look, we're not the inventors of Fable, but we are fans of it, and we spent years trying to make this as good as possible. They seem very sincere. The only part of this that still doesn't quite work for me, something about the characters themselves look really weird. Everybody kind of looks like, I don't know, weird claymation or cartoonish. The worlds look good, the monsters look good, the combat looks good, the magic looks good, but man, I am still not really sold about why everybody looks and sounds like that. The other part that's a bit weird about this is that in Fable 3, there was this thing called like Build the Kingdom, where basically you become king, and then after you become king, you get a chance to like establish chunks of the kingdom. Where do I want to spend the money? Where do I want to tax people and stuff? It seems like they're trying to blow up that. You can now buy any house, evict people, buy businesses, set up franchises, and I guess that's an interesting idea, but why put that into Fable, right? I mean, when I think about Fable, I think about being the hero of Albion. I think about that quirky British humor. I think about the cool exploration. I think about the fact that there's this world and this tight story I'm going through, making it have this gray morality system and so much stuff about like how you're affecting the individual homes of it. I don't know. I feel like I'm completely open-minded to what Fable comes out to be. It's coming autumn 2026. I'm definitely buying it. I'm probably going to buy it on PS5 or PC, but maybe perchance I'll get it on Xbox. But let's talk about the next game. We are going in reverse order. So they showed a surprise game today. They always show a surprise game. There's always like 3 games officially revealed and then a 4th like, hey, check it out. This looks terrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is a Pottery Party Party Brawler by Double Fine. Obviously, Double Fine, legendarily humorous studio. They made all sorts of stuff like Grim Fandango and Brutal Legend, and now recently Keeper. I do not care about this. Everybody that plays this game, like the 12 people that play this game, are just going to make big pottery dicks. You can make whatever kind of pot you want. It's just going to be big, throbbing, veiny party people, right? I don't care about this at all. This was the surprise game. At least I kind of figured there'd be a shadow drop. I'll admit the fact that I'm disappointed because everybody knew there was going to be a secret game. I was hoping we were going to get more details about Gears of War, I don't know, E-Day. I was hoping we'd get more stuff about that new Halo project. Something where they said, hey, everything is 2026 except for this one game. Here's our 2027 project. The fact that the one more thing was actually pottery, that it's a kiln-based party brawler, no, absolutely not. No. Okay. Next up, let's talk about Forza Horizon 6. Now, I'm in a weird spot where I really did not like Forza Horizon 5. And I know I'm the only person in the world that thinks that. Something about driving around so many empty areas of Mexico. Forza Horizon 5 was huge. It won a ton of awards. They ported it to PlayStation 5, and now it's like one of the top-selling Xbox games on PS5 by a huge margin. I know that I'm just the one person in the world that just really didn't vibe with it. I used to be much more into racing games, and I still like racing games on occasion. I definitely have my, 85 hours in Gran Turismo 5 and stuff, but I don't know. Something about open-world racing, for me, doesn't really work. But I gotta admit, I love Japan. I think Japan just is absolutely gorgeous. So taking that open worldness of drive to a destination, make a race, see other players, do special events, that to me sounds good. But I have to say that the thing that kind of struck me the most during this was they talked about better balancing it than Forza Horizon 5. A lot of the early cars, this will have 550 cars at launch, and they straight up said they're trying to do better about balancing stuff out, because early cars in Forza Horizon 5 were way too slow, and the late cars were practically rocket ships, right? They're trying to make it more like a homogeneity, where now when you're playing stuff, it actually feels good to play everything instead of just the supercars, right? But I still gotta say, I think driving around the cities is cool and stuff. I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm not in the mood for another Forza game. It's coming out May 19th on Xbox and PC, and then later this year on PS5. I mean, I might pick this up. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just that right now, I have not played a really standout, amazing freaking racing game in a while. So if this turns out to be it, I would love to be wrong. But right now, I don't know. The fact that they're making both this, Playground Games is making both Fable and Forza at the same time, I don't know, man. I'm much more excited and more curious about Fable than this, of the two Playground projects. Now, the last game, by far, the one I cared the least about, Beast of Reincarnation. This is by Game Freak. I'm not even joking. They mentioned, we're Game Freak. We worked on Pokemon. They mentioned it like 11 times. Like, hey, here's the character artist. He worked on Pokemon. We know a lot about monster design. We worked on Pokemon. We get it. We get it. You guys are the Pokemon people. We get it. Pokemon Company owns Pokemon. You've made a lot of Pokemon. We get it, right? So this is a RPG. It's like a hack and slash sort of a action RPG, but with some of the mechanics they showed is like slowing down time to do big special attacks. But the whole idea of it is that there's these parasitic plants called the Blight. They've basically destroyed the planet, and you're a person that's magically immune to it. You've got like these special vine whip powers. And so the people in town are afraid of you. The rest of the world is all cool and futuristic, and for some reason you're like a roaming plant samurai, and now you're trying to go and take out the Blight with your friendly dog companion, Ku. I don't know, Mike. I can't even really put into words. Something about this looks sloppy. The monster design, the graphics, the way it all kind of feels, something about this looks very sloppy. It looks like they tried to do too much at once. It almost feels like they tried to think about how Pokemon will try and shove two stuff together all the time. It feels like it almost has that Pokemon vibe of just shoving everything together and hoping it makes sense. It has that weird kind of genericness to it, right? It almost looks AI generated. It kind of looks like AI slop. And I know it's genuinely made, but man, something about Beast of Reincarnation. Even if this is coming to Game Pass, man, you could not get me to play this for anything, brother. This game, truly, literally, if they gave it away for free, I'd never even install it. That's how bad it looks to me. These have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts about the new Xbox Developer Direct, but what did you think about it? Did you like it more than I did? Because I'll be honest, that probably for me gets, I'd say, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, and I'll be honest, most of that is for Fable. I'm going to give like 4 points purely for Fable, 2 points for Forza, and everything else a 0. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Imagine if they shadow dropped something like, I don't know, freaking Fallout 3 Remastered. Man, that would have been great. Instead, they're probably about to shadow drop about 10,000 layoffs because it's Xbox, baby.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.